Hello, welcome to Hillary's Whiskey Lounge. I'm Hillary, and this is my Whiskey Lounge. And today, as you can tell, I am so excited about reviewing this wonderful peated expression from the Isle of Arran. This is their wonderful Lagg. As you can see, my son and I have been enjoying this a great deal. This bottle actually did come from the Isle of Arran Lagg Distillery. Lagg Distillery. It is a few months old, and also, as you can see, we had kind of a little cork accident there, and yeah, so the cork just ripped off and sort of fell off this strange little cork top, but we thought it just would add some deliciousness to the whiskey. So I thought I would review this before it disappeared completely. All right, so first of all, a little bit about Lagg. Well, let me pour, I have my little Isle of Arran glass that we picked up when we were on tour there. We didn't tour Lagg, we only toured Lagg. So I'm using a smaller glass because a few of you have told me that my pores are getting kind of big. But you know, I need to have enough to taste. So how's that? All right. So this is Lagg. It's named after a small village or hamlet that's on the south side of the Isle of Arran, as opposed to Lagg, which is on the very northern tip. And it's situated in the Firth of Clyde, so just right off the west coast of Scotland. And then it's kind of sandwiched in between the west coast of Scotland and Campbellton. So you can take a quick little ferry from, well, you have to ferry up north. And I couldn't find a ferry from Campbellton right to Arran or Lagg. That would have been too easy. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember having to drive back up from Campbellton and then take the ferry over to Lagg. Anyway, this expression, this is their second of their bottlings. They started building in 2017. The Lagg Distillery opened to the public in 2019. And then, I guess a year later, started selling their very, very young first expressions. This is no age statement, so it has to be, well, being 2026 now. I bought this in 2025, so we're working on 6 years old at least, at most 6 years old. So this is the second of the Lagg's core expressions. Their first one is called Kilgore, and that's another little village in the south side of Arran. This is, as you can kind of, let me see if I can focus in on that. There we go. Corriecravie, I think it's pronounced Corriecravie, which is another little village or hamlet on the south of the Isle of Arran. And the Isle of Arran, actually, that used to be the name of the Lagg Distillery, but since they built and opened up Lagg, they have sort of been calling themselves the Lagg Distillery a lot more commonly than just the Isle of Arran Distillery, since they're not the only one there now, even though they're owned by the same company. They're owned by the, is it the Lagg Ltd? Yeah. All right, so I've poured this in. This is the peaty expression, okay? So both the Kilgore and the Corriecravies are, and all of Lagg, they're going to be producing peated Arrans, even though I'm rambling, I know. Arran did have peated expressions, and they still do. But I think that this is to draw attention, I guess, away from those peated expressions, which I really hope Arran is going to stop, or Lagg is going to stop doing, because they really just need to focus on their wonderful product of Lagg. All right, so this is, I read this was 50 parts per million of the peat on the peatiness scale. So this could be considered heavily peated. I can smell it already. It's really delightful. And you know that I love my sherried stuff, so that's why we're drinking this one, not the Kilgore. But if you prefer more of the bourbon, first fill bourbon, matured, then try the Kilmore. Unfortunately, I don't have a bottle of that, but you know I love the sherry, so that's why we're trying this. This, by the way, has been matured in bourbon casks and then finished in Oloroso sherry casks. And sherry, not just casks, but hogsheads. Okay. Maybe one day I'll do a little mini video on the sizes of casks and how they influence whiskey. Okay, on the nose. Very peaty at first. Very sweet. Fruity. Dark fruits. Dark fruits and burnt cookies, burnt biscuits. So imagine lighting a Walker's shortbread on fire. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. Maybe dark plums or cherries. Okay. Oh, and it's 55 ABV, by the way, 55%. So we're going to try it without any water first. Whoa. Okay. That arrival is super strong, super peaty, but not in a scary way. It's like in the nose, it's a sweet peat. So very sweet, very, very sherry forward. I would almost think that this was matured in sherry. If you can see, check out the color that's left here. This is natural color and non-chill filtered. So, and isn't that cork cute bobbing around in there? But the color on this is incredible. Okay. All right. Okay, let's try this again. Whoa, that shocked me. Okay, the mouthfeel isn't super thick or viscous yet. It does coat the mouth, but I'm not getting that nice thick a mouthfeel that you would expect from something like this. The finish is almost chocolatey, very smoky. Wow, my lips are numb. Okay, let's pour a little water in here. Let's see what happens with some water. Tiny bit, just to see if we can open it up. Okay. Love this cute little glass. And by the way, while this is just kind of sitting here, while the water is soaking in and doing its viscimmetry thing, the Lagg Distillery is very progressive, forward-thinking. The builders, the creators, the directors, they have almost a directive to reduce their carbon footprint, to be green. They adhere to, or they're adhering to the, and I'll put links about this below. I forget what they're all called, but the Scotch Whisky Association and the United Nations something green directive. I forget what it's called, but I know I've only had the one sip of this, you guys, or well, two. And they're really trying to be very forward thinking about the environment, even the sourcing of their water, of their peat, which I think their peat comes from the mainland. They're trying not to use the same kind of peat that's used, well, for instance, in Isla, but they do try to be more forward-thinking and green about even the way their peat is harvested and the partners that they have in peating and malting. So their website is huge. I didn't have time to read it, and I didn't really want to read it all. But you can go to laggwhisky.com and see for yourself the incredible extent to which they are trying to be more sustainable. which is a good thing. It makes me happy to drink this. Okay, so I think that this water has been soaking in here and mixing up a little bit. Enough while. Okay, whoa, the nose has changed. The peat didn't hit me first. At first, I had to really breathe in deeply to get that peat. But I'm getting a dark cherry and chocolate. So if you've ever had those cherry cordials with the goo inside and the chocolate shell and you just pop those in your mouth, that's what this is. This reminds me so much of one of those cherry cordials. Okay, so that really opened up, at least as far as the nose goes. The arrival's still a little bit bitey, not as harsh as without the water, but definitely bitey, very spicy. And I'm attributing that to the sherry, the spiciness. This is a curious and pleasant little dram. It's curious because it doesn't, it's like a little mystery. It's like a little enigmatic dram, and I can't describe it. So I'm so sorry if you tuned into this video wanting to learn more about this Lagg whiskey. I think I have to have some more. Yeah, chocolate, cherry. I'm not getting as much of that burnt Walker's shortbread, but I am getting a nice sweetness. It's really surprising. This is very surprising. It tastes so much like an ordinary unpeated, sweet sherried whiskey, but yet it has that whole very understated peat element to it. Now, this one would not be for beginners. That would be something like the Glendronach Ode to the Embers, or something like Kilcoman's unpeated, which tastes kind of peated to me. Not even the Ardnahoe Bolsa, that I don't remember if I said would be good for beginners or not. But this one, definitely not. So please don't give a bottle of Lagg to anyone if you know that they don't like smoky and peated whiskey. If they like anything from Islay, if they like anything, Ardnahoe and Lafroig and all those guys, or even the peated versions of Bunnahabhain, which are much, to me, seems like they're much lightly peated, and definitely Kilcoman. But yeah, this would make an excellent gift for somebody that you know loves peat, especially if it's super strong and sweet. And as I said before, I think I've tried the Kilmore, their unsherried, their bourbon first expressions. I really might want to go back and revisit that. Yeah. But yeah, I love the sherried ones. This is nice. If you were doing an invitational, a flight for your friends, and you wanted to introduce them to sherried whiskeys and then also to peat, this might not be the way to go. But if you're doing a whole flight of peats for your friends, whom you know like their whiskey smoky and peaty, definitely add this. Add this to the Kilchoman and the Ardbeg and the Lafroig and the Ardnahoe, and see what they think. This is like I said, it's enigmatic. It's a little mysterious little wee dram, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I think I've drolled on and on enough about this. But this, like I said, this bottle came right from the Lagg Distillery. I have sent my son off to to Texas with his very own bottle of this stuff, this Corriecravie. And I wonder why, that this Lagg Distillery is actually located closer to Kilmore than to the little hamlet of Lagg. I'm wondering why they called it Lagg. My guess is, though, it would just fit on the label. I love this. I love this very cool utilitarian looking Lagg label. And this bottle is actually just gorgeous. Their packaging also is part of their directive to be more sustainable. Although the product comes with a box. So you guys over in Lagg, at Lagg, stop using the box. I get it, why you'd use it for shipping and all that, and probably most of your sales come from shipping. But stop using the box. I literally just took the box off, threw it away, and it's such a waste. Please, please, please. Other than that, I do like your product though. So it's all about the bottle and the product, not the box, you guys. Okay. Well, I didn't think I'd be saying that today. It's not about the box. All right. So you guys take care. I hope that you've tuned in so far all the way to the end. If you have, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. And please subscribe and like if you haven't done so yet. And please share my videos with your friends, those of your friends who are already whiskey aficionados or enthusiasts. Or those who are just starting their whiskey journey, which is actually the original purpose for my videos, is to help people along on their whiskey journey, to show you that whiskey is not scary, except when you start dabbling in peat, then it can get a little scary, but delicious. So everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day, and Slanjava.